And if you don't know who I am, I'm Demi Palecek. I'm running for 13th District State Representative. I live a couple blocks away. I'm the 46th Ward Democratic President. Our office is half a block away. I'm originally from Southern Illinois. My mom is from Mexico and struggled with mental health issues. And my dad was in Vietnam, so struggled with PTSD and alcoholism. So I started working at 14 years old. And it's just never gotten easier. It's how I ended up in the military, assaulted on my first deployment, and then when I got out, I promised myself I would never let that happen to anyone else. I would never let the power of the government essentially ever oppress people again, and so I've made that my life's work. And as we see right now, a lot of families are in hiding. They are tormenting us, terrorizing us, and tearing our communities apart, and we have to stand up. So this election is the most important election, I'm going to say, than ever right now, especially to me. But AIPAC has entered my race, specifically against me. Their board, their treasurers, anything like that. DraftKings has entered against me. Facebook Meta has entered against me. So it is very, I know, awful. So it is very, very critical that we get across the line. We need more progressives. We need more Latinos. We need more people who will literally fight ICE and be all in. So I just want to say thank you guys so much again for being here. I will hand it over to the CEO of Leaders We Deserve, David Hogg, to say a couple of things.
First time I've ever been called that. All right. So, you know, Demi and I got involved in politics for different reasons, but like many progressives, we got involved not because we wanted to, but because we had to. We saw a world that was obviously incredibly terrible to people in general in different ways, and we decided to do something about it. And that world is really, really hard to change. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of guts, and even more once you are in those positions of power or you are running for office, to not just be somebody who, I think 99% of politicians and politics is determined by people that just lick their finger and stick it in the fucking air and are like, well, which way is the wind blowing? Which way is the wind? I'm going to go that way. That's why we're seeing all this stuff with these moderate-ass candidates that are raising tons of money from groups like AIPAC and others now claiming that they're progressives, running for the Senate, running for Congress. And in that environment, real power doesn't come from the people that stick their finger in the air and wait for the wind to change direction. It comes from the people that make the wind fucking blow. That's people like Demi. And Leaders We Deserve exists as an organization to help give a generation of Americans that have been so let down time and time again by our political system the hope that while the Democratic Party sucks in many ways, there at least are a segment of Democrats that do represent us, that are not controlled by corporations and special interests, that actually can fight to reform the system to say, actually, you know what? Not only should you not take money from Meta, not only should you not take money from groups like AIPAC, that should not be legal in the first place, period. But the idea that we're going to somehow change that system and that we're going to get groups, for example, banning super PACs, overturning Citizens United, the idea that we're going to be able to do that by electing people who get into those positions of power while getting support from that system in the first place, getting support from those corporations is ridiculous. And I know it's ironic of me to say that because Leaders We Deserve is a super PAC as well. But our purpose is to not exist anymore. But we understand as a progressive movement, we cannot have our candidates unilaterally disarmed. We cannot send them into a suicide mission, frankly. We need them to have real financial support, real advice, and real backing, with the only string attached being stick to your values. Don't compromise. And that's why at Leaders We Deserve, what we do is we don't just send a check to candidates, we show up with them. This is my second time showing up here in Chicago with Demi. And what I've seen from her campaign has been really inspiring to me because I've seen a lot of state legislative campaigns. And typically, you guys know the type of volunteers that work on campaigns. We're very thankful for them. They tend to be slightly over 50, typically, which is great, to be clear, and we're very appreciative of them. But Demi's campaign, nothing wrong with people over 50, to be clear. But with Demi's campaign, it's one of the only campaigns I have ever seen for state legislature with such a diverse coalition in age of volunteers. And when young people start showing up for you, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got to figure out how we're paying rent. We got to figure out how we're getting by. We got to figure out how we're showing up to our second and third jobs a lot of the time. So when young people say, you know what, I'm going to take time out of my day that I already don't have to show up and support a candidate, that means something. It means that those young people see something in Demi. And that is what gives me hope for the day that comes after Donald Trump is no longer around, because that day will come. But the question is, what will we do after he's gone? Well, because we can't continue to have a message that we're not the guy who's dead. That can't be our only message. So what are we for? And the reason why races like this, I've talked to a lot of people who say, this is a blue seat in a blue state. Why does this matter? It matters because people need to know that Democrats are not just not Republicans. They need to know that Democrats actually show up for their communities, and when they campaign, they don't just say, hey, here's this literature, go and knock this door for me. They don't show up and say, hey, just please go and vote for me. They show up and ask, what can I do for you? That's the power of Demi. Her life has been dictated more than anything by a commitment to service that continues in this campaign, showing up over and over again, whether it's helping to protect her immigrant neighbors that are living in terror of an organization that is younger than I am, ICE. It hasn't been around forever, contrary to popular belief. That's what we need more of in Democrats, are people who show up and say, what can I do for you, and actually do that. That's why I believe that Demi's campaign is so diverse in age, because young people see a politician that isn't just saying, oh, please go and help me, help me, help me, help me, but saying, what can I do for you, even before I'm elected? Imagine if we had more Democrats like that around the country, who didn't just show up and say, go and knock doors for me every 2 years or every 4 years or every 6 years, but said every single month, I'm going to go to you and I'm going to say, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? Because that is what the Democratic Party is. We are the party that fights to make government actually work. And guess what? That job is harder. Because we don't run on the idea that government sucks and then get elected, make it suck, and then get reelected on the thing that we made sucks. That is a harder job. But guess what? The reason why we do it is because of families like mine. When my father was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease, the only reason why my family didn't go bankrupt is because the courage that Democrats had to pass the Affordable Care Act and ensure that he was not kicked off of his insurance. That's why we exist as a party. The reason we exist as a party is to ensure that we have programs like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, and in the richest country in the world, that nobody goes bankrupt because they can't afford their hospital bills, because that's a bunch of bullshit, right? Yep. But that's going to be hard to build. But guess what? The only way we're going to get there is if we elect more Democrats like Demi that actually believe in something rather than just whatever gets me elected, right? Yeah. So my organization has already maxed out to Demi. We've donated over $72,000 to support her campaign. We've been on the ground, and in this race, I know that Demi can pull this off. Her opponent is kind of a dumbass, to be honest with you. He sent 3 mailers on the same fucking day. And guess what? You don't get a refund for that. So while Demi is here, she's not getting money from people like Meta. She is getting money from the people who matter, the people who actually stand up for the people's interests. And that's why we all need your support. We have already maxed out to her campaign. We legally cannot give her any more money. I've called people to ask to support her as well and give her money. But if you all can, please donate. And if you have friends or colleagues, if you're an elected official here, I need you to endorse Demi. I need you to endorse Demi. You can show up, you can post pictures, you can do all that, and we're very thankful for that. We need to show there's a real coalition behind Demi, because a lot of people see that money from Meta come in and are like, well, oh my God, that really scares me. Guess what? That only matters if that money is being spent appropriately, and her opponent is wasting that money. And we have polling that also shows that Demi is neck and neck right now with her main opponent. So you all can be the difference here. But if we're going to build a better Democratic Party in the first place, we got to get somebody like Demi elected who's not controlled by special interests and looks those special interests in the eye and tells them to go fuck themselves when they want to go and build another data center. And can say that because she knows that she's already fought them and won. And her constituents can know that Demi is there to support them, not the special interests that are destroying their lives. So if you all can, please donate to support Demi. And if you're an elected official, I want you, if you can, even if you can't, I want you to figure out how you can. Even if you can't, in the next 24 hours, I want you to publicly endorse Demi. Please. We need to consolidate the coalition here and get her across the finish line. She can win. I've worked my ass off to help raise the money so that we could max out to her. We put ourselves on the line. I'm here for the second time with her. So I need you all to show up as well. And that means taking one more step and endorsing Demi and supporting her financially. So if you can, please donate to support Demi so that we can show in the great state of Illinois that once again, this state that only just over 120 years ago sent a young 25-year-old Abraham Lincoln to Springfield is once again sending a great young person to the state legislature with your all support. So if you can, please donate to support Demi and endorse her, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to actually have, so I don't know if anyone knows, I was activated to January 6th after the insurrection. So that night we're on a plane to DC, and that's how I kind of got involved in politics. I was already scared under the Trump administration. I was involved with Planned Parenthood, and I didn't know what else to do. So I went up to Jan Schakowsky's door, and I was like, can I start doing things? Like, what am I doing? Because I'm living in the Capitol. What do I do now? When I came home, I didn't know what to do. No one was answering. I reached out to all my elected officials. And my committee person, Sean Tenner, was the only one that answered me. And he was like, this is insane. Let's go to lunch. And we have been insane best friends ever since. So I want to introduce and give the floor to Sean Tenner, the mayor of Misfit Toys. If you wouldn't mind introducing the electeds that are still here. And
in the committee.
Well done. So,
Little Mike.
all right.
do you want me to do it?
Yeah. There we go. No, there we go. Yeah, perfect. So I think we're going to win this race. We've got five candidates. Demi is clearly in the most progressive lane. I think we're in an environment where people are getting 12, 13 mail pieces a day. I literally got 13 mail pieces in my mailbox. And that's because we have this congressional race going on with 15 candidates. We had them all here for a debate on Tuesday. And so when you're getting that volume of mail, that volume of noise, it's the grassroots work that really pops. It's the organic social media that pops. It's her work ethic. It's the number of doors. There was no question she's knocked on 5 times as many doors as all the other candidates combined. So I think the mechanics of this race just look really, really good. And the buzz is there in a way that I can't even describe. And I think we all know, a lot of people went to Broadview to be performative and to get in front of the cameras and wave the signs. Guaranteed, Demi would have been there whether there was a campaign going on or not. It was really Demi and Kat and a small number of other people who were there putting their bodies on the line, but before it was cool, let's say. And I think that resonates. And I also feel that some of the elected officials around the state in this final 3 weeks, are starting to come to the table. Some of the progressive Latino elected officials in Springfield are starting to come. Karina Villa, a very popular state senator running for controller, she came by. We'll hear a little bit from Alderman Vasquez. But just as a politics and data nerd, I feel really good about this race. And she's still in my phone as Demi, January 6th, veteran, wants to do something. So Alderman Vasquez represents the 40th ward, which is our neighboring ward, and yeah, floor is yours. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to say, I didn't know how cool this alderman was until I met with him.
Plenty of people don't. I'm not the thing.
He used to be a
Yeah.
rapper as well, but I met with him for coffee to talk about this race a long time ago, and we were there for like 2.5 hours, just talking about everything. And there was a woman trying to get in the door, and she couldn't get in, and he took off running to go help her. And that was the first time I saw it. I know, he looked like a Boy Scout. And then in Broadview, they were coming after us, and I started shaking, and I look around, and he's right behind me, and I'm like, this dude is in for it. He has all of our backs, and so I'm really grateful for Alderman.
Thank you for that. No, good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for having us here. Thank you for organizing. Thank you for David being here as well. We know where we're at as a country. It is scary as hell. Everybody, no matter who you are, is basically under attack. Latinos right now are like front and center because you're seeing what's happening as far as immigration when you have a government actively being this fascist against its own people, right? Women who've had to fight for the right to have a choice have seen it taken back. Our LGBTQ and trans folks all under attack. And sometimes there's so many different attacks happening at once, it's hard to understand they were all taking the hits. But I think it's important in those kind of moments that you've got the kind of candidates that run that have come from those kind of experiences. Because for a lot of us, it's not brand new. The only thing that's different right now is they're more out loud saying it. You go back to the 70s, the 80s, further back. It didn't matter who you are, where you're from. If somebody felt that you were going to be the other, they're going to other the hell out of you so they can continue making their profit margins and keeping people divided. And so when you think about Demi's story and where Demi's come from, the kind of families that have to struggle to come here to this country to make sure their kids have a better life, and then we have to take the next generation to do it. Knowing the kind of system we have where you might have to enlist in armed services to figure out what your future might look like because you don't come from a wealthy family to start off the top, right? So I think about like the kind of environment Demi had come from to then go into service, serve her country, and then watch what's happening in this moment, and to particularly have the courage as someone who has served to stand up against the federal government and the commander-in-chief to say this moment is wrong. Those things are more important than a meme. They're more important than an Instagram video. And Sean, you're absolutely right. In the moment where people are like, can I get a couple more hits? Can I get some views if I go show up real quick? Can somebody get me a quick little window sign I could put up to show my values? Yeah, you can agree on what we're talking about, but there's a difference when you're putting your body on the line. There's a difference when you can get federally indicted, as like our chief of staff, Kat, and other folks have, just for showing up and exercising your freedom of speech. People want to pick and choose which amendments they care about, and those will shift even. But I think David said it best, and as a Democratic socialist and a Bernie person, we look at the Democratic Party and go, it's not good enough to not be Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
If we don't know what the hell you're about, who you're for, who you're looking to defend, and you're not willing to have them in the halls of power because you want to maintain your own, then you're bullshitting everybody. And everyone in the country feels like they're getting screwed. It's why somebody who grew up on hip hop, decided to follow a 74-year-old white dude from Vermont that was telling us we were getting screwed, right? Yeah. So it is important to make sure that when we have candidates that come from those struggles, that can tell their story, that can be on the ground and speak to what trauma feels like, that they're the ones that are fighting the hardest for those who need it the most. And that's why it's important to support candidates like Demi. And these, yeah. What's cool about state district ones is they're pretty winnable on the ground too. Mm-hmm. We've seen just in a couple cycles, like somebody knock their way into a seat, right? This is gonna be one where you have to put all that together. So it is about getting the support. It's about the fact that we have 23 days.
Woof.
23 days. That's like a couple flus and it's out. Right? But you need more people coming together to make sure candidates are successful. So make the time, schedule the time. The same way we watch right-wingers take every Sunday and show their kind of servitude, do the same thing as a progressive. Do the same thing as somebody who wants to see the country move forward and take that time out of your day to throw down. That is what's going to get people in the seats that we need in those seats and not the entrenched power we've already seen. So I'm going to shut my rapping ass up. Thank you so much for having us here. And let's make sure we fucking win this thing. Yeah. the thing, right?
We have one more, and I won't take too much of your time because I know there are candidates here, and we want to be door knocking. We want to be out the doors already. So Stephanie Skora is the writer of Guerrilla, I guess, and also the author of my favorite quote of myself ever, Demi Palecek will punch a motherfucker in the face.
What about right type of crazy?
Oh, yeah. So we are making shirts about it.
Which side?
Yes, I will give the floor to Stephanie Skora. About 180,000 people in the north side do read her Girl I Guess guide, and now it is making waves through the entire state, so she's had to expand a lot. I think this last Girl I Guess guide was 100 pages long.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Kill me. Yeah.
Yeah. And how many doors alone yesterday were like, do you read Girl I Guess? And I'm like, yes, I'm in it. Please go read it, actually. Yeah, so I will give you the floor.
Well, I won't take too much time. Like Demi said, there's doors to knock, there's people to convince. I want to just remind folks of something. 4 years ago, this district sent a relatively unknown candidate to Springfield to be an independent progressive on the strength of community, on the strength of endorsements, and on the strength of a campaign that just wouldn't quit. We have an opportunity to do that again with somebody who's even more prepared to hold that office, and that's Demi. Demi is not just a fighter, she is a meaningful progressive. She knows her issues, she knows what people in this district care about, she knows what it takes to get the work done, and she has the beliefs of her own to bring to the table to make a difference, not just based on what other people are telling her to believe, not just based on what the issue of the day is, but on what she knows in her heart from her lived experiences, and her experiences in this district actually matter to people in the state of Illinois. The thing that convinced me about Demi was that she cares so much about every single person in this district. And she is not going to let anybody, whether they're writing her a check, whether they're promising her an endorsement, whether they're trying to grease the wheels for her, she's not going to let anybody get in the way of what she thinks is right. We who pay attention to politics in Illinois know that there's two ingredients that make a great representative in Springfield. Yes, you got to be progressive, right? You got to take the right votes for the right reasons at the right time. But you also have to be independent. Demi doesn't answer to anybody but the people. There's no group trying to put her, well, I guess there's now a group trying to put her in office. But when she started, there wasn't just one group trying to put her in office. There wasn't somebody trying to get all their relationships in order to make sure the fix was in for somebody else. There was just Demi and the people that she's worked hard to convince that she is the right woman for the job. I'm one of those people. She convinced me. She brought her passion and her knowledge and her fighting spirit to this district. And I know that for my friends and my loved ones who live in the 13th, when she is in that room in Springfield, whether it's the caucus or a committee full of people from other parts of the state that don't know what it's like to be a working class person living on Argyle, or working that minimum wage job in Uptown, or struggling as a homeowner in parts of Edgewater and Andersonville, Demi will fight and fight and fight until that person's voice is heard. Nobody's going to give her the talking points. Nobody's going to tell her what to say or what to think. She's going to fight and keep fighting until that fight is won. So we have to keep showing up for her. I'm going to echo the calls. If you have not endorsed Demi, you need to endorse Demi today. If you have not donated to Demi or done something to help her win this race, you need to do that today. We have an opportunity to pull this district to the left. And we have a great incumbent right now. And there was a great incumbent before him. But the 13th always deserves more. And that more is Demi. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
It's stuck. It's sort of stuck. Yep.
I'd be the first woman. Yeah, I'd be the first woman in this seat. I'd be the first Mexican in this seat. I would be the only Democratic or progressive veteran in the entire State House of Illinois, and I'd be the only woman veteran in the State House of Illinois. And I'm still serving as of right now until I get indicted on that again. Court martial. Yeah. Knowing what's going on with our soldiers and where that money is going is also an insider tip that we also need to tap into. But again, thank you all so much. Thank you to Leaders We Deserve. Truly, it was me out here swinging by myself, and then they called, and it's been life-changing. So after the campaign, please donate to Leaders We Deserve. And then after Leaders, please follow. Yeah, follow. They do amazing work all over. They are very well-researched and amazing, and like I said, truly life-changing. Yes, I'm not beholden to any group at all. People complain that I am beholden to the people, and I think that that's how it should be. So I do want to acknowledge that there are other candidates here who we are kind of like the misfits that we have joined together because we are going against the establishment. So I'd love if you want to introduce yourself, all of you guys, and yeah, we have a bus outside. So.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joey Ruzevich. I'm running for Congress. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Joey Ruzevich. I'm running for Congress in the 6th District of Illinois. I'm going up against a Democratic incumbent, Representative Sean Casten, who is a... Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. The appropriate retention. Hell yeah. So yeah, he's a horrible guy. He's a Zionist. Takes hundreds of thousands of dollars from Wall Street and private equity while sitting on the Financial Services Committee, represents the largest group of Palestinians in any congressional district in the entire United States, but is a strident Zionist. And that is not representation of the people. That is bought and paid for by the special interest donors. I met Demi at the AMP conference in Tinley Park, the American Muslims for Palestine, right? And immediately when we connected, we were eating some food, she offered help right away. She's like, I know this person. She's like, oh, you're Polish? You got to talk to Pogo. And I was like, absolutely. So now I'm going to the Polish. Now I'm going to the Polish National Association's candidate forum tomorrow or on Tuesday. What are the 2 days? Because of her, because she was willing to help right away. And that is the spirit that she embodies. That is the type of candidate that we need, that the North Side needs. And I'm so very thankful for all the help that you've given, the friendship and the connections, and continuing to be a leader. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so both Demi and I served in the military, and I think this is telling. This is your event. This is about you, right? You don't need to share the floor with us, and that's leading by example. So Demi, that's what she cares about. This is a collaborative effort to get this done. It's not about you. It's not about your campaign. It's about the progress that we need to make together. So thank you, Demi. Give Demi a round of applause for doing that. And I'm proud to say that I live in the 13th district, so I will be voting for Demi. I got Demi's sign up in my bus there, and I'm excited to vote for Demi. So yeah, that's my bus. I've been traveling the state, the only candidate in the U.S. Senate race to travel to all 102 counties because, David, to your point, I believe that we need to redefine political viability away from the money model. If you get put into the system by big money, you're going to be beholden to big money. So we're trying to redefine that, and it's been an incredible journey so far. We've made some tremendous success, and I know we're moving the needle both in the city and downstate. So if you want to check us out, I'll be on the bus after this, but this is Demi's event, so I don't want to steal any more of that thunder. Give it up for Demi again!
Yeah, with theme. I think that's it, yeah.
Thanks. It's really gracious.
Okay. You grab it on this thing.
Just here. Just hold it? Okay. Well, first of all, hi everyone. My name is Wissam Shahed, and I'm running for Cook County Commissioner here in the Chicagoland area, but more down south in the Southland. One of the cities maybe some of you all know is Little Palestine in the Bridgeview area, home to the most dense Palestinian population in the entire country. So also going up an establishment candidate whose mom held the seat for 17 years, died, and then now her campaign speeches is following in her mom's footsteps. It's the same old nepotism that's been going on for decades, and this entitlement, right? That political seats belong to families and not to the people, right? This is time to change that. And with great candidates like Demi and folks who have been standing up, it's time. It's long overdue. I mean, we've seen with Donald Trump, him weaponizing ICE against our communities, cozying up to these tech billionaires, making the rich richer, while the rest of us here actually in Cook County, we have some of the highest property taxes, not in the state, in the country, by the percentage. And people are moving to Indiana and elsewhere because we are getting squeezed like wet towels. The conversation today and the theme has been we need actual Democrats who actually care and are going to do the work. And that's why I'm running. And I really encourage everyone to support amazing leaders like Demi, who's putting herself out there 24/7. I'm going to also share something that, we had a personal connection on. Demi, the theme of her today is she's a helper. She wants to help. First time we connected, she's like, hey, did you talk to this person on Instagram, right? Messaging me, hey, saw your profile. What about this person, right? There's always this consistency that she wants to help other good candidates, right? And now we're sending contacts to each other. Okay, did you get this endorsement? No, let's send you this person, right? Always going back and forth on the messaging. So anyone else who might have these connections, I would recommend to send over her way as well. Even in 23 days, people make endorsements still, and they might throw resources. So please make sure you give all your support to Demi. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And then I do have a state rep here as well. Everyone had to get is running at the same time, so I'm lucky to have Norma. She's a state rep. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Hope I'm holding it correctly. But hi, everyone. Representative Norma Hernandez. I've had the honor to represent my hometown. My family's been in Melrose Park for more than 3 generations and got recruited to run for office. I was also one of those people, right, that just wanted to go to school, get an education, and do something that I loved. Whatever job that was, it was to help. I was a social worker, but to do something that I loved. And this opportunity came to my lap with the support of Congresswoman Delia Ramirez, Congressman Chuy Garcia, who really wanted to flip a district that was majority Latino out in the suburbs that had no representation. And that was my community area. We had no representation for Latinos, no progressiveness at all. And we were able to flip a 10-year incumbent because we got and mobilized our community, mobilize people that never got out to vote, and that is something that we need to do here for Demi. I am getting to know Demi, and I am proudly here because I've heard so many great things about her. She is the kind of person that I want to support. When you think about how many people run for office, we need to understand why they're running for office. What is their intention? What work have they been doing prior to running for office to get them to this moment? And she has receipts. She has been doing the work. I've looked it up myself. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think she had the receipts, right? But we need her. Being in Springfield, everything is political. Nothing that you do goes outside in a small vacuum. Everything is political. And we need people that are going to fight for the right bills, fight for the right type of funding, because right now we have no money. Trump is cutting everything away from our budget, and it's leaving us to have to fight for the very little that we have. That's why we have to tax the rich, right? That's why we need leaders that are going to be willing to say, we need to tax corporations and billionaires. That means we can't accept money from these corporations and billionaires, and that's Demi. And I think it's important to also say that when we show up for candidates, it's not just one time. We have to continuously show up, and I'm committed to doing that. I'm committing to doing an endorsement because I do believe that she is the right person that we need in office. And I'm also committed to also gathering more people to support her because we can't afford to lose this seat. We cannot. Not when people are being kidnapped, not when people are being killed on the street, and not when billions of dollars are being given to this agency. That is our money that we need to be getting back. So thank you for inviting me here. Thank you to David Hogg for also investing in Illinois, because our politics is also the country's politics, and I know you care about community, so thank you for being here, and my support is going to be for Demi, so I'm proud to endorse you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. This is like the coolest fucking room ever. And I'm just so much grateful for all of you and all the work that you've done, the journeys, like the friendships I've made along the way. Yeah, I'm not taking any shitty money. Help me out. Tell your friends, tell everyone in the district, please, to vote for me. Let's go win this, because we fucking can. Oh, Demi for Illinois, as if anyone doesn't know. Please take a button, take a friendship bracelet, anything like that. Everything I do is girl-coded, very much myself, very much unapologetic, but let's go fucking win this, because we actually can.